Hello, everyone. Richard Carlton here. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training. It's Thursday, a little bit after 1 o'clock Pacific time in California. Welcome to FM Train.tv, where we have Nick Hunter here. Nick Hunter is wearing his yellow sweatshirt again. He's looking very nice. Did you get a haircut, Nick? Haircut?
No, next week my hairdresser is on vacation, so I'm waiting on.
I offered to give him a wall, like a U.S. Army regulation wall #1.
No,
He's a #1 on the
thank
side.
you. Thank you.
Yep. No, I'll do it for free. In fact, I'll do it on live TV. He will broadcast, and I will give him a #1 Army tight haircut while he's talking.
Yeah,
That would
I
be
get
awesome.
the rain check on this one.
It's a rain check, Maverick. Roger that, tower. All right. So moving along. Today is a very exciting, awesome day. If I go to fmtraining.tv, you can see the upcoming stuff on the website. We have live training here. It's the upcoming schedule. We have all sorts of things scheduled. Next week, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. Notice that there is, we're talking to a junior engineer on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then Nick and I are going to get together on Thursday. I don't know if we're going to do a broadcast on Thursday or Friday. It's kind of a holiday here in the United States, like one of the 2-3 big holidays for the year. And so that's where we were thinking about doing the drunken FileMaker training, but it's kind of complicated. So we have to decide how much alcohol we can really consume. Maybe Nick can consume all of it for me. I don't know. It's one of those sort of things. I did get an email.
I'm not a drinker.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to fake it really good because I'm not going to drink unless you're there with me. So that's the upcoming broadcast schedule. A reminder that when you don't see me here, I'm working on the book, putting out other fires, trying to get the FileMaker book done. It's kind of good in some ways that you always like when you procrastinate and it's not done, you always like try to find justification and like, oh, it's really good, it's not done yet. But the benefit is that we can incorporate more of the conversation about the Claris's agile development methodology. It seems to be kind of working or working more than it did before, where they would do one major rollout a year. Now they're kind of doing more rollouts. And they're definitely have gone back to visit server and performance. They've been kind of honestly neglecting server for a number of years, probably 2-3 years anyway, since probably 16. I would say it hadn't had a really major positive sort of thing. They tried to do some things in 18, and then the initial part, and it was a disaster, and we warned everyone, and then Claris did it anyway. And so then in 19, their big feature was to turn off the stuff they turned on in 18. So, I think they're finally kind of getting the server stuff a little bit more straight and better. Of course, if you want to be the 1.0 person, I had a couple people come to me and go, yeah, I want to install this right away. And I'm like, okay. So you're like the laboratory mouse. So you're like at the little cage, and you're the mouse in there, and we're going to feed you some FileMaker Server 19.1.2. And then shake it around and see if the mouse is still living. So very exciting to be the test guinea pig on that. Very exciting. So, Nick, what are you covering in your broadcast today?
Okay, so we're going to talk about what is it about the? Forget what. Oh, it's a large object. Sorry.
The frame rate here is really slow. You know, everyone knows how slow the frame rate is here. He's like 1 frame a second. It's like really slow.
Yeah,
Why don't we just cut to
that.
your screen? It'll probably be better. So let's just do that.
Okay, so the topic today is they're navigating into layout with a lot of objects. Okay, so when you have a lot of objects in their what's the name, because all the design I'm doing so far, everything I'm showing, you have a lot of objects. You have slide control, button bars. You have a lot of things on the layout. So and sometimes I'm showing things that you can overlap things like this, and you hide and show. So you have things underneath, so you can access. So I'm going to show you how to deal with those things with the new object. Pretty much is how to use the object tree. Okay, and how to organize your layout to make to give yourself a comfortable table, comfortable flat area of work where you can manipulate all of things. But before we go there, I want to come back to what I was talking yesterday about, because I did yesterday we were talking about the sorting power versus sorting the relationship, right? and I encountered the problem just 15 minutes after the broadcast. I worked on something and I got the issue, and I want to show you what I got, and then I tell you that to show you that it's a real stuff that happen all the time. So let me show my screen right quick. So so what I wanted to do yesterday, and I replicate that in that file in order for you to understand. Each time you go to a record, you know, I want the first contact. All of those are the contact related to that account here, and I wanted the first contact of the list to be selected by default. And here what I got, I'm getting everywhere. It's not the first that is selected. It's this one, the almost the last one. This one is here. This one is here. You know, I never get the first selected when I want the first selected. So what happened is because the polar is showing the thing sorted in one way. But remember what I was telling you yesterday about the reality completely different. The reality is what the relationship is getting you. So actually, the relationship, when the FileMaker works well, the first record in the list is long Yoko, that's the one selected. So the thing is doing well, the FileMaker working well. What's wrong is that I have the polar sorted one way, right? The polar is sorted and not the relationship. So I want the polar to be sorted by last and first, okay? So I remove that from the polar. I go to the relationship, okay? I sort the relationship the way I want, last first, right? And now, guess what? I get always the first selected because now I'm sorting the relationship, not the plural. So the reality now is, the new reality is that the relationship will provide a list of contact pre-sorted by name, by last and first. That means now I have my reality matches what I'm saying. Okay, so that's exactly, you know, that's exactly the problem that you can encounter sometime. You don't understand why you never get the record that you need to work to get, just because of this problem. So I don't want to continue to work on it, but you know, that was the problem I was encountering yesterday. Okay, so let's work today now with the new with the topic of today, which is the do I have a here? Okay, so here, for example, I have an example of layout where I have some object here. I have a lot of fields. I have a poll. I have a slide control here, right? So that means I have two polls, and I have a poll here. I have a button here, and I have this with this is a popover, and I have an object inside. I have another poll inside the popover, etc., etc. So there's some. I have some kind of lot of. I have a lot of what's the name? Object in the layout, right? So when you see the layout here, you realize that you can't discover much what happened here, you know, because the layouts. Let me remove this here. View. I want to remove the ruler. Okay, the ruler. Okay, so the layout here is not showing you everything. You know, you have a lot of things hidden. For example, here you need to figure out that you have here you have a slide control. See on the side here you have a slide control, and it's not discoverable that you have a slide control here. I know because I built it, but it's not discoverable too much, right? Here you have a button bar that is, you know, manipulating this, you know, is actioning this slide control here. See, and then you have the slide control. So when you select an object here, see, now you have here slide control, slide one. So we already covered the topic of manipulating the object tree, but I'm going to show you again. So with the object tree here, you see, let's put that in the front. then it goes up here. Okay. So you have a slide control, and inside the slide control, see, when I select one of those, it brings me directly to the object, right? So, and then inside you have another object, and inside you have other objects, right? So this is a good way to manipulate data, okay, to manipulate layout objects, right? So you know you have this and stuff. So you can see you have a representation of what you have in the layout. Now you have a problem of discoverability, you know, because as I said, when you hear, you don't discover much when you do this, right? So, and there's no way you can name a popover. So that's the problem also with FileMaker sometimes, is the object itself, that means the slide control itself, the object itself cannot be named. You can rename it. You can also name, you can only name what inside the control. So the slide, you can rename it. This you can rename. The portal can rename. And you can give a name also to the fields. So naming things can be useful. For example, let's say you have a complex layout and you want to, you want to find an object and you don't know where it is. It's buried somewhere. It's buried. Okay, so you have no way to look for this. Okay, so most of the time, what I'm doing here, I'm saying, okay, this is contacts portal. Okay, right? And I have also in the slide number 1, I have a portal here. This is, oh no, this was project. Sorry, this is projects. This is projects portal, and this is contact portal. Okay, so now I have two object named the same way, right? I mean, two object named with the name here, projects and contact. So let's say everything is buried somewhere and I need something like, okay, it's all about projects. So I have it here. I have a button bar name with project inside, and I have project as also in a portal named project. So now I can search an object by name. Okay, so that helps you to find out where is the object you want to find. Okay, so it's also important to name the thing like I do here. Is project portal. It's project portal. Why? Because I said, okay, what is all of the name with portals? Okay. Okay, I have this portal, portal. Okay, so you have multiple portals here. You type portal and you have all the portals. So this is kind of cool to name things like this. Okay. Same thing for popover. See, you have a popover here. You have a multiple object inside. You have a button. Okay. And then you have this, okay? So now you can see you have, this is the button, this is the popover itself, this is the portal inside the popover. So so now you know how to do things like this, okay? So you can rename this if you want to name this is a popover. This is, for example, is department button, okay? So you name it, you name your object the way you want, and then you can retrieve it. And this is the department popover. Okay, you know what I mean? So now I know if I'm looking department, I will find, okay, there's a lot of department, but I will find the department popover, department button. Okay, so I will find them here. And if I want to be if I want to increase my chance of finding things, you have a filter here. So this filter is kind of interesting because you can say, okay, it's a button. Because as I said, a popover doesn't exist in FileMaker, or it's a button. It's not a popover. You know what I mean? So it's here. See, it's a popover button. It's a variation of a button. So they in the filter they didn't put popover. You have buttons, and now you can search whatever you want, right? So you have the department button here, okay? Because I selected button. I just want to establish some standard explanation, right? Easy thing to understand how this works, okay? So there's also something that is very interesting here when you have a lot of objects. is because you can hide stuff in your layout. See, for example, here you have a little eye here. See, and you can select one here and you hide the object. See, the object disappears. That disappears from the layout. Doesn't mean they are deleted. Okay, they are hidden. They are hidden in layout mode. Browse mode, they're here. Nothing to do. It's not the same thing as this one. Okay, this guy here. You know, don't confound this. This is hide the object in browse mode. This is just hiding the object in layout mode to let you work more comfortably. Okay, but that's a double edge on this. Okay, that's a double edge, and you need to make sure that what you're doing. Let's say I hide this, and now I say, oh, okay, cool. You know, I have I have more space here, and let's say you forget about those, and you say, okay, oh yeah, I have many space here, so I can do this, right? You go browse mode, and now you have this. Oh, okay, what happened? Because I don't see the object here, but they're there. So if you don't know about this, you can be confused, and and you will get confused because I do something, I forget that I had an object hidden, and I just, you know what I mean? So it's and I cover with something else, and then sometime and if you, for example, you cover with a larger object like this, for example, okay, you cover like this, so, and you can, okay, but underneath you have the object, they're there, so you know what I mean? So you need to be careful on this with the hidden object. The hidden object here, so, and if you want, okay, by the way, when you hide objects like this, you hide. If you want to show back everything, you click on this eye on the top of the list here. Show all object on layout. You click here and bam, you show all, right? So now there's another thing I want to show you is grouping. Grouping is more and more and more and more used groups than it used to be, for many reasons. Why you want to group objects? So first is because it's convenience. Let's say I have this group of objects here, okay, and I want to group it. So you go to arrange and you say group, okay. So now I have one group. First of all, so let's bring in front. First of all, this group here, now I see what the group is. So more you group objects, cleaner your layouts will be. There's much less things now. You know what I mean? So if I group all my objects like this, I say, okay, I group this, right? So now look, I have much less. And if I collapse everything, okay, this is it. Remember how it was before? I have a big list of objects there, and it was kind of a mess, right? And I couldn't, because I had all of this in line, pretty much, right? So now I can collapse and group things like this. So how to uncollapse and collapse everything, okay? See, you have option command. So on PC, don't ask me, I don't know, I'm not a PC guy. But on Mac, it's those two. Okay. So you strike those two keys on the keyboard, and you uncollapse or collapse all. Okay. It's the same as scripts. Collapse, here I have only, I have two. If I do this, I collapse all the folder. If I do this here, I uncollapse all of them. Okay. Same for scripts. So, but of course, because FileMaker likes to do the thing complicated, it doesn't work here. When you have folder in that list, in the layout list, doesn't work. It's because it's two different technology used to build this list here and this list here. There's 20 years technology gap between us two. That's why, you know what I mean? So that's why this one looks a little bit different than this one, is because this list here is old, coming from the prehistory of FileMaker, and this one is recent as this one, you know? So now that I have groups, it's kind of cool because this group here, okay, this is account info. This, okay, it's links and globals. Okay. And this is filters, master details filter. So now you have more control. You know what it is, right? So when you need to imagine yourself with a very large layout where you have a lot of objects. Okay, and I'm going to show you a large layout. So so you need to you can group things and give a name. So the downside of this is that if you ungroup, sayonara the name. It doesn't even tell you, oh, you have a name there, and it doesn't even warn you that you're going to lose the name. So now this is a big problem. And that's why you need to make sure what you're doing is because, let's say, remember yesterday I showed you this my best friend, and I hope your best friend as well, the get layout object attributes that point to the object name. Let's say you have a get layout object attributes that points to an object's name, which is a group. And if you ungroup it, your get layout object attribute is broken. Okay, so you need to know what you're doing here. Okay, you need to be careful. It's kind of a self-discipline, but you will see after some time you will get used to. Okay, well, when you spend half a day trying to figure out why something that was working for months suddenly doesn't work anymore, it's just because you say, oh, by the way, let's ungroup this, and there's no warning. Okay, and then 2 weeks later, somebody say, oh, by the way, my script doesn't work anymore. Okay, so so now you say, okay, Nick, that's okay, but let's say I want to change something in this group here. How can I do without ungrouping the thing, right? Well, you can edit a group. That means, see, okay, you click one and then you click a second time. I repeat, click one, second time. Okay, you click one, you select the group, you click again, and then you click on an object inside. So now you can navigate in the thing now, and you can move things if you want within the group. See the group, you see the marquees here. The marquee here is moving myself. Okay, I can do this, I can do this, but this is still in the group. You understand? So you can edit the group in a certain way. Okay, and you can also use the tree here. So how you use the tree? Remember, I told you, I show you how to do. You select an object in the tree, then you strike the tab key. You see now this is blue. Now when you strike tab is gray. It's selected, but it's gray. Now that means now you can use arrow up, arrow down in the object here. And you can also use, whatever you want. You want to change the color. You want to change the, whatever the padding. You want to change, all of this. Now you can change this, right? So you can have action in an object that is part of a group. Okay, right? So so that's cool. Also, so any question? Can we add another item? No, you can't. The question is, Agent Chevy. Yeah, no, I wish. You can't even imagine how much I wish this. Okay, can we add another item to the group without first ungrouping it? No, but I have a trick for you. And that's why, okay, you can call that a hack because it is, but it is a very convenient hack. Okay, so here's the hack. Let me show you. Let's say I want to group those things. Okay. So I want to ungroup those things. Let's ungroup those things. I create a slide control, which is the unique slide control. A slide control with one panel. So it comes with 3 by default, so I remove one and another one. And I remove the dots. And I said I want the minimal slide control, which is a transparent, borderless slide control. You can see the object in the layout. I position this object here that will wrap those. Understand? So now I have here, if I look at my tree, I have a slide control with one panel that is empty. Right? Let's put this slide control on the back. Look what happened. So the slide control is on the back. So that means those objects here now are on top of the slide control. Okay? They are on top of the slide control, but they are not inside the slide control. So now here what I'm doing. I do this. Now they are inside. So I redo it. I redo it because you need to see that. So I have a slide control, and I put the slide control on the back. Then I have those objects here. I selected my object, but underneath those objects, I have my slide control, remember? Now, I need to do is to move them once in the right or left. You move them up, up. Now, they are inside the panel. See? They are inside the panels. That means if I move the panel, I move all the objects. So that means those objects now are grouped without to be grouped, because I'm using the slide control with an enclosing object. It's a slide control, it's an enclosing object. So now I can put a name on my panel. Remember, you say whatever, that is our account info, right? So let's put that in front, because then I have it's on top of the list. It's easier for you to see. So I have account info, the text is, and now it's okay. Hey, yeah. Let's delete this. Let's delete. Let's move this on the side, and I want to add a field inside this, right? So I have my slide control. I'm making bigger, and I can add a field, whatever field I want. I want the city. Oh, I have the city already. I want the department. I have the department. What can I put? I don't know. A list of account data, whatever. I'm adding a new field here. And is inside this, this one needs to be here. So it's inside the slide. So now I have a group of objects without grouping it, right? So, and then you can edit and do whatever I want. I'm using that sometime. I'm not using that all the time, okay? Okay. Yeah, so Ken Tully said, that cool. I didn't know that you can edit a group within a group, edit a group. If you have where's my stuff here? Okay, if you have something like this here, okay. So let's undo all this right quick. Okay, then I want to get back my stuff. So if you want to ungroup, so let's see. Okay. So yeah, Ken Tully said he didn't know that you can edit a group within a group without ungrouping. This is great. Yeah, Moki, right. This is even more reason why we should be able to name slide control object. Yes, it's true, but they have problem with the slide control. Go to object, they don't have to make it functional. Yeah, you're right. Even if only the object tree is not selectable. Yeah, it's true. It's just because the slide control object is not an object per se, but it's, look, they know my way. They know how I feel about it. I told them that we need a way. I know they're working on something, and I don't want to tell what it is because I don't even know if they're going to do it. But I know they're working on something to make that easier for us. So, okay, let's continue. So you see, so now you have, okay, when you work with a large layout with a lot of objects, everything is matter of organization, okay? Or you need to be like me, uh, liking to feel the pain. That means I used to feel the pain from so long, I'm used to it. And sometimes I don't even help myself. I know I should do like a grouping and give a name that will save me like a ton of work, but I'm not doing it because I'm not used to feel the comfort. Okay, more and more and more and more I force myself to do that because it's true that you save you time. When you do this and you have a name to go to point and stuff like that, it's better. So let me show you a layout where you have a lot of which one I can take. Where's the? I don't want to. I want to start with a smaller one. Okay, this one. Okay, and after that, I'm going to show you another one, which is the extreme. It's an extreme version of it. So let's take a standard objects kind of standard layout. Is coming. Okay, so let's go there. Okay, so standard object layout. Let's take project maybe. Yeah. So you have quite some people here. Okay. You have a poro here. You have a slide control with accordion style. Without the accordion, you have another slide control without accordion within this accordion stuff. Okay. You have a popover here, which is hold on. You have a popover. You have a lot of things. You have a popover here. You have a slide control here, and without the slide, you have many objects. So you have a lot of things going on here. Okay, still in work in progress, but still you can see that you have a lot of things. So let's see see what happened here, and it's astonishingly simple to read. Okay, and that's the reason why. It's because the way it is organized, and because the way I'm using slide control, that helps a lot. That means now, and I have groups, right? And you don't see much. See, when you open the layout and you go straight to layout mode, this is what you see. You don't see thousands and thousands of records of objects. Even though if I uncollapse everything, this is another story. This is all what you have now. If I uncollapse everything, this is what you have. See, you have quite a bit of objects here. Okay. So how to organize this? So first of all, this is considered as an object. See, it's a slide control. So everything you have inside, right, is organized in trays, like you have at home. Let's say you enter the kitchen, you have a drawer, kind of a piece of furniture, and you have the utensils, and you have your pots, and you have your covers, and your lids, and you have your stencil for this, you stencil for that. You have cabinetry. You have your cabinets. You have the cabinet for the groceries, the cabinet for the plates, for the glasses. So it's exactly the same way. So using slide control or tab control, the way you want to use, it helps you to organize your things. So don't be afraid to use and overuse those objects, because that will help you. Okay, when I'm seeing those layouts where everything is when everything is exposed, like a pizza napolitana, or a combo pizza, a combination pizza, you have everything like like this, right? All the buttons and all the fields and everything, and you have to scroll the layouts and stuff like that. If you have a layout like this, forget about organization. Okay. Then I'm using another trick here, which is very useful. So this, I don't know what it is. We can remove. So you see here. See, I'm my design here. Let's put smaller. My design here is always the same, and there's a reason why, and because it works well for me, and it works well for everybody, so that's why I use it. I always have the tab with my related data on the side like this. Why? Is because it's on the edge of the layouts. That means I can spread, I can spill the what's the name, the slide control over the layout. So what that means, what is making is giving me, okay? So here I can see now that I have a slide control within the slide control. Why? Because I'm seeing it. Because I say, okay, this slide, I want the right edge with green, for example. So now I know I have two slides here. See, visually, I know it. Visually, I know it. I have the first slide and I have one inside. So now if I go to the next one, I don't have slide here. Here, I don't have slide. Here, I don't have slide. So I have only one with a slide, right? I have only the first one. So that helped me navigation this. But you have other layouts where you can have much more slides. So, for example, I'm pretty sure inspection, for example, I would have much more slides. So here in this layout, see, I have one slide here, I have another one here, and within here, I have another one here. So you can see, I can see the cascading things of because here, this one is this slide control is operated by this button here. Do you want the gallery mode, or do you want the list mode? Gallery, list, see? Then here you have all photos or aerial photos. This is all photos that are aerial photo, this is all photos. And then you have the main slide control here. And within here, I know here, I have a slide control. Yes, it's true, because I have an accordion. So now I know that I have a slide control inside this. I can see. And here I can see. Now I can continue. But here, for example, see. Oh, we back to the first. But you understand how useful this is, okay? Visually, you can see immediately what happened. Of course, this technique, or whatever you want to call it, works only if you have your slide control on the right side of your screen. And that's the reason why, there's many reasons why I'm using that technique, because this is one of the reasons, okay? And this helped me a lot to build, my layout without having big issues or navigating inside. So let me see the question here. So we should be able to use slide control as a layer. Yeah. Moki $1 said, I use the slide control as a layer. Yeah, exactly. So it's let's say it's enclosing object. They call that the terminology FileMaker is going to use in the future. Enclosing objects. It's a 4-layer. Yeah, it's actually they're going to use that for other things that will be exciting in the future. I know they're working on this. They can add it. Okay. This is even more reason why we should be able to select. Okay, Napolitano pizza. Yeah. Okay, is this design WebDirect compatible? Of course it is. Of course it is. Aging Chevy said, is this design WebDirect compatible? Of course, everything I'm doing is WebDirect compatible anyway. It's the lean design kind of a concept that Rick and I worked on to establish the foundation of this kind of a principle of our designing. When we say design, it's not just the color of the buttons, right? When we call in a computer field, when you talk design, is designing the code, designing it's the whole thing. It's a design of the whole.
With the experience, or
like,
what do we?
The design of the engine, the design of the body, the design of the interior is like, So, but we call design, but it's not just the color of the button. Okay, so when we established this design principle, it was to make sure that everything we say, let's say 99.99% WebDirect compatible and FileMaker Go compatible as well. And I'm going to show you something else. So now you see when you have a lot of objects, you have tricks that can help you. And of course, organizing inside Slack control as much as possible is for you, it will be even better. So now let me show you an extreme version of an object where I calculated that I have more than 2,000 objects in the layout. Okay, so it's this one, something I built in 2016, and this is the file I'm going to show you is pretty much the file that I used to establish the foundation of the lean design concept. So let me sign in here. Okay. So I'm going to go straight to the layout because I cannot show you the data. So I'm going to show. Okay. So I am straight into. So here you have you have quite a bit of object here. Even though if they are organized, you have kind of some object here. Okay. So, and you have a lot of objects that are not conveniently placed, let's say, you know. There's many objects. Oh, I need to show there. Hold on. When you enter the layouts, you have a lot of problems. First of all, I'm not using that technique anymore, but when that happens, or if you need to use that, this is what you happen. When you click here, you select an object that is in the middle of your face here. You have this object here, it's in the middle of the face, okay? And you have a button here. Here on top of the layout, you have a big button that covers pretty much half of the screen, right? So I'm not using that technique anymore. This is old technique, but still, it's a good example of bad behavior and a good example of how the object tree is helping you. Can you imagine that I was using this without the object tree? So when I was saying, if somebody said, "Oh yeah, it's the training from Studio 69, you know, the pain tolerance," yeah, pretty much this. The pain tolerance means I use this without the object tree, without the ability to do what I'm doing right now. You see this button here is in the middle of the object, so that means I cannot select something on the back. So I hide the object, you know. Now this button is hidden. Now I can hide this object here. I can hide this object, which is a slide control. I had it. And then you have another object here that is in the middle, another slide control that is hidden in the middle like this, and I want to hide. So now I can hide those. Now, thanks to many people complaining about this, and finally they bend, they fold, and because on the request, is that I have hidden objects here, and when I go browse mode and layout mode, they're still hidden. Okay, they're still hidden. I don't have to reselect, and because before when you were going layout mode, they were unselected automatically. So now you have a lot of objects here. You have many things going on. You have a lot of objects, and you can see here the extreme version of. You have a slide control, and you have all those objects. So let me show you smaller here. So you have this, and this, or maybe bigger here. You have this, and this. So here you can see you have a slide control here with 8 components. Then you have another slide control with 5 components, and then you have the main here. But this is where you have the pain. Is this one? This is the very, very complicated layout, because you have look how many embedded slide control you have. You have this one, you have the main one, then you have this one, then you have this one, then you have this one. So this is the accordion here. Okay, I have an accordion here. This is driven by this button here. See, 1, 2, 3, and then you have another one here that is driven by this guy here on the side here. This is the button bar, and this button bar is actioning. What's the name? Is actioning this slide control here, right? So within this slide control here, you have other slide, and then here I have a classic tab control here, okay? But if you go there and you continue digging, and then you have another slide control here, because this one is driven by this. So you have this slide, these buttons here, this button bar here, and then you have another one here, and then so you have two slide control. So imagine this concept using only these objects, the horizontal tab control. It's impossible. It's impossible. You understand what I mean, right? So that was see, because this is not. It looks like it works like a tab control, but it's not, right? So now you see with this technique here on the side. Imagine this without this technique on the side, without this. How you do that? Okay. So I need to come with something to help me, because yes, you can use the tree. Of course you can use the tree. I'm using the tree many times, you know. The tree is very useful, you know, very, very useful, because I named the tree in a way that I can retrieve my babies, like I said, okay. But still, it's kind of visually, it's kind of more comfortable if you can navigate through the layout the way I'm doing it, right? And so you say, okay, Nick, why you did something that complicated? Because the client asked for that. Okay, and I don't want to have multiple layout for this, you know. And actually, using multiple layout, I will have increased the difficulty, because I will have to navigate through layouts, and we know we have no way to navigate through layout as easily as navigating through this. You know what I mean? Here I navigate, bum, 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 bum. Do that with layouts. You have to go there, you know, select your layouts. It's a pain, okay? So, and FileMaker now have a very high tolerance of what you have in your layouts. So if you have questions, do we have question on YouTube? Okay, so you have a question here. Does one layout equal one anchor only? Or is it possible to have one big layout collecting data from several anchors? Okay, yes and no, okay. Okay, that's a good question, Emmanuel van der Beek. One layout can be related to one table only. Okay, so how you relate a layout to a table? You go here, right, and you select the main table. So here I have the main table, and I organize and I design my stuff to be everything is related to the deal. So everything is related data, pretty much everything. The only thing I have native is on the first slide, pretty much. This is native. You can see you don't have the double column here, right? You don't have. Here, this is a deal contact. See, it was. The naming convention is in this file is not me. I start somebody else, another company start the file, and I didn't modify the thing they had. But you can see deal contact. So it's coming from deals, and you go to contacts, and then you select the contact, and then you have this contact here. So you see everything is pretty much a relationship. Some are, but very few. Okay, very few. So everything that is on the first and the second here, those are, you see, those are local. Then after that, everything I have here is all, everything here, by the way, is related data, all of this. So you will say, okay, I have a lot of relationship, many relationships. You say, okay, this stuff should be slow. No, it's not. It's not, because it's, I'm not showing everything at once. Okay, I'm not showing everything at once. So let me go. I want to show you this working. Let me select the sample. There's sample data here. Let me select the sample data. Then I don't. Okay, I have two sample. Okay. Then I don't divulgate stuff. So here you have the first kind of So here how it looks. So when you select a contact, you have this. But I'm not showing here now. FileMaker is showing me only what I'm seeing here, right? It's not loading everything. FileMaker is not loading everything. It's loading what I'm seeing. So since everything is inside slides, and I'm showing what I want to see at, when I want to see it, like the ratings. FileMaker is displaying one field. That's it. That's what it's doing. And when I click here, see, that's what I have. I click, and then I have another slide with other thing, and then I have other slide with other thing. Okay. So the way I'm organizing things like this, box within box. Like you have a cabinetry, and then you have a box where you have the coffee, right? You don't have the coffee on the top of the on the countertop like this. The coffee inside the box in a cabinet. I use this here. The box is more organized you are, more and better is. Okay, so that's what you need to do. And then you go to another slide. See, those are the main navigation. Okay, and then you go there, and then you have all the complexity here. All the strength. You see, you can see this, and this. You have the weakness. You have the real disk. Okay, so you have all of the thing like this, and then you can even have the managers. So you have information here, and so you can. And then here you have the accordion style here, and you have another accordion style here. See, you have a lot of object, and you have paragraph here, and you can add a document. You can add a new paragraph if you want in the things. Okay. So you have a paragraph here, para 2, and you can add a text here. So you can have multiple paragraph per what's the name per topics, right? So it's kind of cool, right? So so you have a lot of things organized in box within box within box, which FileMaker tolerates that very well. Okay, there's no problem here in terms of performance you can see here. And to answer your question about is this compatible, see, you have a lot of things. Can you imagine all what you have here, all the information you have in one layout, all what you have, this and this and this, you have a document, selected document. Yeah, so see, okay, so you have a lot of things and you generate the report. Right, and so pretty much all of this, and I'm going to show you at the end, all of this to generate a report. So, of course, this is working perfectly well in WebDirect, right? So you have in this solution has multiple layout for WebDirect. So this is a WebDirect layout, okay? So, and you can see I'm using the same technique here. Even though it's a WebDirect layout, okay? I even increased that, the accordion style here. You can see I'm using kind of a multi, the name of the tab to be a record and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. You can do a lot of things on the layout here, okay? So any question here? Does it mean FileMaker display data differently when you? No. Okay, no. Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
No, that's fine. Some people pointing out the network was going pretty good, and then it started having issues the last 5-10 minutes or so. So it's kind of hit and miss. But there are some questions here. The Monkey wants to know if the fonts show up in WebDirect, and then only if the fonts were installed on the server for WebDirect, right? So yeah.
Yeah. So. Actually, it's the font you have on your system. And the font that your navigation is going to understand. Okay, so you need the font to show the font on FileMaker like this on WebDirect. You need to use the font the guy will have in his system though, pretty much.
The font. Okay, yeah, it's on the system. But if you're doing PDF generation, right? Reminder that if you're generating the
Oh yeah,
PDF
yeah.
on WebDirect, that has a
Yeah,
font that has to be installed on the server, right?
it has to be installed. Yeah, because you generate because the document is generated on the machine on the system. So and the system is the server. So of course, yeah. So pretty much the last screen did not look like Arial. No, actually, it's I don't remember what I used. I don't remember what I used. Don't remember what I used here. What did I use? I'm using Verdana often. See, I have an object here. See, I group this also. Oh yeah, so why do you group object also? Is because you don't want to when you want to hide an object and you want to hide the whole thing, if you select all the object, let's say you want to hide those objects, for example, let's say you want to hide those, you know, you want to hide those, okay? And you say, okay, you put your condition here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. It will calculate the hidden calculation. It will calculate all this. Or every I here, it's a calculation that Draco will perform. Okay. When you group everything, and you say you want to hide these objects, you have one calculation, and the whole thing will be hidden. So group are very useful for that. The question is, for conditional formatting, doesn't work. You know, if you select this and you group and you want to apply a conditional formatting here, you can't. Conditional formatting needs to be individual objects. That's why sometimes it's better to have a different version of the for example, let's say you have a lot of objects, okay, a lot of objects, and you want to what's the name, and you want to change the color of this. So you have one version, one color, and you have another version with another color, right? And you use, instead of using conditional formatting, you use the hide stuff instead, right? Because you can instead of having 10 or 15 or 30 individual formatting conditional formatting calculations that will make the thing slow, like, right? You have two calculations that will hide or show the object you want to see, you know. So when I have a lot of objects where I want to apply conditional formatting, I'm not using conditional formatting anymore. It's better to hide and show a group of objects that looks different. Okay. Where we were, I lost the. I lost the
You lost your train of thought.
Yeah, the font. I'm using. Is it Verdana? Yeah, it's okay. It looks Lado, but I don't care because actually, I should have put our what's the name? Helvetica. I'm using Helvetica most of the time. Yeah, it's Helvetica is my the font that I'm using the most for our what's the name? Arial and Helvetica. It depend where you know what I'm doing, but Arial and Helvetica are the two basic font I'm using. By the way, when the system doesn't have the fonts like the Lato here, it will be replaced by Arial by default. WebDirect do this. No fonts in the system, put Arial. Pretty much what it's doing on FileMaker as well. You know, when you're on FileMaker, you have you open a file, a solution on the server from a machine that you don't have the font. It displays Arial by default. So, do we have any questions? Yeah. For Monkey says for WebDirect, Helvetica, yeah, any kind of Helvetica works well. Helvetica No, Helvetica. I like Helvetica No because you can have the thin and medium and black, and you know, so you have a more freedom here. I use also Agent Chevy say if we use tab control instead of slide control, does FileMaker pull down the entire data at once? No. Okay. So let me explain that before we go. The slide control and the tab control will work the same. FileMaker will display data that are showing up, or FileMaker will evaluate the data. Let's use the right terminology. FileMaker will evaluate the content of a field if it is displayed, or if what displayed needs the results of another field that is not displayed. Let's say you have an auto entry calculation here, and the auto entry calculation is calling a field that is not showed up on the layout, but to evaluate the calculation of this field that is showed up, it needs to question the other field. So it will go to the other field. Okay, I hope I make myself clear. So tab control, slide control, the same. But
okay, let me phrase that another way. So if there's a dependency it needs, it will evaluate the dependency, is the way that would say, right? So if it needs something, it will go out and calculate it. If it doesn't need it, it won't go get it. Yeah, that's the whole idea.
That is about one field that is showed up, calling a field that is not showed up, and then it will go there when it needs. Okay, so the other thing I want to say about the slide control and the tab control, let's face it, can you make this looking good using tab controls? Can you replace this with tab controls and this with tab control? So you will have tab with the tab with the tab with the tab. It's impossible to navigate. Visually will be a nightmare of navigation. So you can try. Try to have how many layer I have? One layer or 2, 3, sometimes 4 layers. So try to have 4 layers of embedded tabs, horizontal tabs. It's impossible. It will look horrible. And of course you won't be able to have long names like this. Escrow, release conditions. How you can have a name that big, okay? Or this, like a placement agreement, or even there's even more larger. What's the name here? Or if I'm showing here, where's where I put my? I don't know where is Lender, but anyway, okay. I already came with this about many times. I can build an entire solution very, very complex, and I use one tab control. I have one tab control in this solution, one, right? So,
right, but you have many slide controls.
Yeah, because they don't look like embedded slides. They look great.
Yeah, they look great.
Visually, you're not like, oh my gosh, what is this? You know you are in CE. You know you are in contacts. You know what you can do. Is on the report, where you are. Highlight that, and this is different. So see, it's and then you have this one inside. So it's not something that you get. This looks like. Immediately, this look like not good. I don't know why, but
yeah.
And then you have 2 here, and then you have the accordion style inside. So, and here you have you can have this look. Can you have I'm asking you, guys, can you have a tab control with that name?
No.
Okay.
Well,
no, you can. Or you have one tab, you have one tab. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Can you imagine how many tabs you need that? Okay, let's put that vertically. You know what I mean?
No, so we've done this. We've done this. I don't want to encourage you because we're already 10 minutes over time here.
Okay.
Reminder that tomorrow is kind of open question and answer day, and that a lot of people like to send me files. I've had 2 people try to send me files yesterday. I had Kyle trying to shoot me files, I guess, through Discord. I can't accept them through Discord. Please send them to me through support with an email and a description, and then I will bring them back. I had to yell at Nick last night because he was just like promising everyone files, and then he hadn't sent them to me, so I had to get those from Nick. We updated the links today for those of you who the Red Downtown links were updated, as was the Empower link. So it's the May 2020, Nick. I don't know if you have those links in front of you anywhere, but we updated the Empower file from yesterday. So that's the Empower X5 version. So once again, if you have the previous link, we've updated the file that comes out of that link. That makes sense. So that's kind of a great way of doing that. And you'll get a window like that. Yeah, there it goes. And so pretty cool. So then tomorrow, if you have questions, that goes even for people on my team, make sure that if you want us to have a sample file shared with other people, send us a little description of the file, send us a link to the file, make sure we have a password that we can open the file, and send it to support@rcconsulting.com. It's very important. Wade Adams says, we were talking to Wade on YouTube about, he was playing with a server, and he had never thought much about the fonts that were on the server, which is very important if the server is generating PDFs. Wade says it would be nice if FileMaker could have selectable layers. You could place objects while working on those complex layouts.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I would like to answer the question of John Haggerty. He said about the slide that animates and sometimes they don't. Yes, that's a setting for that. And I'm going to show that tomorrow during the Deadbird open question.
All right, well, there you go. So we'll catch everyone tomorrow. Appreciate the comments. If you have questions, support@rcconsulting.com. Sample file, support@rcconsulting.com. If you have a marriage proposal for Nick, you love Nick so much you want to marry him, support@rcconsulting.com. We will be reviewing all offers.
Marriage not going to happen. No.
Marriage not going to happen. All right.
No, it's not compatible with the latest system.
Operating system. The Nick operating system is not compatible with marriage. Okay, great. No. All right. Well, there you go, everyone. I appreciate it. Thanks to TK55678 for helping with that. Everyone's questions. Ken Tooley, thank you very much. Canberra, John Haggerty, Gooditi, Foxy Jake, Derek White, Emmanuel, Wade, J.A. McRae with the Bears in Saskatchewan. She showed up a little late. We saw that. Mookie, of course. Appreciate everyone. Tommy D and Saucy with the Marine Corps kind of logo. All right. Appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the guys just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected the quarterback. Great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap. Stands in, throws it left for Amendola. Reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10. Rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.